Hi, Nicola. Hi, Sergey.
Hi, everyone.
Nice to see you guys again.
Hello.
Hello. Nicola, what did you think of that last lesson?
It was great. I actually have a question about that.
Yeah, of course.
Which was not answered.
Oh, sorry. I just saw
don't
the prefer one, but go ahead.
Yes, that one. Prefer.
Yes, I was.
I mean,
Oh, did you drop off maybe before I answered? Because I answered that, but I guess you already dropped off.
okay, so maybe I should
That's
see
okay.
the video.
No. I'll tell you now. It means it's the same as the verb to like, which means it can take the gerund or the infinitive.
Oh, okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. So if you think about liking something and if you think instead of prefer, you say to like more.
Exactly.
Because prefer means exactly the same as to like more.
Yeah.
So there's no reason why it should not be the same as the verb to like. And you can like doing something, or you can like to do something. Okay?
Okay.
Cool. Excellent. Cool. So, hi guys. Hi again, Hazel and Inga.
Hello.
I'm sorry. I felt by the end of that class that everyone was more confused than they were at the beginning, which is never a good way to end a class.
No, it's okay. We have very good resources to learn.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. At the very least now, like I say, take a look at the English page one. I think all the same information is in my document, and it's a bit more simple to understand. It has more information in the English page, but it might also confuse you a bit more. I tried to take the most important points. But the best thing you can do is just memorize the list. And the lists are not that big. They're big, but they're not that big. It's just like learning vocabulary.
Yes.
Right? Just think about it just like learning a list of vocabulary. Everyone's done that, and you just do the same thing with those verbs, and then you'll be able to tell the difference. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, but I tried to teach as much about it as I could, just so people can understand the different concepts. For example, there are some times when it would only make sense to use the gerund, because it would only make sense to use a noun and not an infinitive. And there are other times when it's a bit more ambiguous or a bit more difficult to decide which one to use, I suppose. Okay, sorry, by the way, everyone who wasn't in that last lesson. I shouldn't really be talking about it. But cool. Thanks for coming today, everybody. Nice to see some regulars. Sergey and Nicola know each other. Hazel and Inga do not know Sergey and Nicola, so you guys can say hi to each other. The two guys were in my class yesterday. We had a monologue class where we tried to speak for as long as possible about certain topics.
And we won.
And your team won, yes. Sergey and Nicola, you were like assassins. You were like noughts and crosses assassins. So pick a topic and you would just talk about it with no hesitation, no repetition, nothing.
Yeah.
But Inga and Hazel, if you can generally only come on Sundays, I think that's right, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Always.
Okay, so is that the same for you, Inga? Inga, are you alive and well?
Sorry, what was your question?
It's okay. Can you normally only come on Sundays?
I can
sometimes
on weekends. It depends if I am free or not.
Okay, fine. Sure. I'm just saying on Sunday, I'll do a monologue class on Sundays as well, so you can do it, because they're quite good fun.
I joined one of your monologue classes.
Before? Okay. You hated it. You hated it, I remember.
Yeah, but it was very funny. I remembered Blue Tea. It was cool by Jose.
That means it's good for you if you hate it, like medicine, because you have to practice talking a lot. Okay, so we're going to be doing. Can anyone see the? I'll just post a link to it. Actually, makes it easier. Can everyone click on this document? This is the document we'll be using today. It's a really fun lesson plan. It's about spying.
Yeah.
Has everyone got that open?
I did.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Great. Hold on a second. I just need to make sure this is the right one. Yeah, this is your topic. Okay. Perfect. So we're going to start off with a few questions. Do you think the media portrayal of the life of a spy is realistic? I'm going to ask Sergey that question.
I think no, because their lives were secret and they should stay in shadow to keep safety their parents and their lives.
Okay, so that's true, definitely true. But the question is more about the way that the media, and media is sort of like TV, books, radio, the way the image of a spy that we get from the media. Do you think this is realistic? Do you think it's like spies? Do you think the life of a spy is very true to how we see in James Bond, for example?
Yes, I think yes.
Okay, so you think there are people who are just like James Bond?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe.
Maybe. We don't know.
It's a difficult question.
Okay. Yeah, because it's secret, right? Who knows? That's the point. Does anyone else have an opinion on that? Hazel, what do you think?
I think we don't know exactly how they are. Maybe it is some truth in the fact that they are similar to James Bond or other characters from movies, but I think they are more different and more complex, because I don't know exactly the truth. Never.
Yeah, and I think James Bond personally is very unrealistic. It's often like watching a cartoon.
Yeah.
Because he does, he is like hanging off a ledge and shooting people with a machine gun, and he does these things that are impossible for most human beings. I don't doubt that spies are more physically fit and clever and good at languages than most people, which James Bond is as well. Yeah. But I personally think that James Bond, to take the most obvious example, is a heightened reality, you can call it. Heightened reality means it's like it takes some things that we can agree and it makes them like a cartoon. It pushes them too far, right? So he's good at fighting. Spies are probably good at fighting, but they're not good at killing like 10 attackers who are around them in one go, in like 5 seconds. But James Bond can do this.
Yes, I think they have to be creative and intelligent and courageous. At least these qualities they have to have, because otherwise they cannot do their job.
Yeah, exactly. But maybe not to the same extent as Bond.
Yes.
We think. Possibly, but we don't know. Okay, the next question. Do you think in this day and age it's still necessary to have spies? The expression "in this day and age," that just means today. It means literally what it is. In this day, which means in this era. An era is a sort of time period. An age is like a time period. So you say in this day and age. Do you think in this era, ERA, it's necessary to have spies? Inga, what do you think?
Yes, I think that's important to have some spies, especially for big countries, because there are a lot of, happened in metro, in Moscow or in America, people died from the terrorism, to uncover that people, I think they should use some spy agents.
Excellent. Okay. So you think as long as terrorism happens, for example,
yes,
then we can always make use of spies to uncover or reveal the terrorists, for example.
Exactly.
So they would be undercover spies, right? Often James Bond is posing as someone else. He pretends to be someone else, and then they could gain the trust of people in these terrorist organizations and then send the information that they discover back to the CIA or whoever, whichever spy agency they belong to. Is that what you think? To summarize?
Exactly.
Okay, great. Alice, by the way, Alice, you're in the chat. Come into the class. I want to see you. No more hiding in the chat. Okay, that's a good answer, I think, anyway. I mean, none of these have right or wrong answers, but I agree with that. Okay, Nicola, what do you imagine it would be like to be a spy?
Oh,
you strike me as the kind of guy that would relish the opportunity.
Okay. I don't know. To be a spy would be, in one case, like, I don't know, important in a way. I mean, it could make me feel special or something like that because, oh my God, you know, the mysterious person who he is and so on, and that would be amazing in some sorts. And the easiness of getting information without even uh, making the other notice it is amazing as well. And so yeah,
To be stealthy. Do we all know what the word stealth means? Stealth?
No.
I'll put this in the chat.
Stealthy, yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. Stealth is the noun, but stealthy is the adjective. To be quiet and not be obvious. You use stealth.
Exactly.
If you're breaking into a building and you don't want anyone to see, you have to be very stealthy.
Exactly. Well, that's the expression I want to say. So.
Okay. So you think it would be a fun job?
Yes.
Very glamorous.
It's as fun as risky, right? But anyway, that's the risk. When the risk is your stamina. Sometimes it's like saying, okay, this is my risk, and my risk makes me do this. My risk pushes me, right?
You're saying the risk.
To do the right shot. Yeah.
The risk you are taking.
Exactly. To do the right shot.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. UC591. I don't believe that's your name. But do you know who?
That's my name. It's undercover.
He's undercover. So he is a friend of 007.
Yeah.
You can call me Juan Carlos.
591. Okay, Juan Carlos. Juan Carlos, are you a spy?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
What? Not I don't, but I am not. Are you a spy?
Not.
I am not. What would you think about being a spy? If I approached you after the lesson and said that I have noticed you, and I noticed you have certain qualities that would help our government or help the Spanish government, what would you say? Would you take the opportunity or not?
I don't. I don't like be a spy. I think that is very dangerous. Would be very dangerous. And I think that being a spy, it isn't like we can see on films.
Okay.
I think that is very different. Only a few times we can see the real life of an spy on TV. Their life is very different.
Okay, so you think it's not as fun as you would think from watching The Bourne Identity or James Bond?
No, it's not so funny.
Okay, not funny, but fun. Funny is ha ha ha. Fun is just entertaining.
Okay.
Okay. Are you sure it's not just because you're scared? I would be scared if someone told me to be. When I was younger, I didn't care. I could do all that stuff. But now I have a bit more that I would like to protect, I think. So
you have second thoughts about it.
Second thoughts about it, exactly. I have second thoughts. Luckily, no one has offered me the opportunity, so I didn't have to make this decision. I will say this, though, interesting personal fact. When I was 15 or 16, I sent a letter to MI6. This is the British equivalent of the CIA. And explaining to them why it would be very clever of them to hire a 16-year-old to be a spy, because nobody would suspect a 16-year-old boy of trying to, discover government secrets or break into something or whatever. I have the cover of innocence, you could say, right? If you talk about a cover, someone's cover, this means the story. So this is a person and they have a cover, which means that I'm trying to be another person, okay? So you could literally say James Bond's cover is the persona or the character he is portraying that's not himself. Or you could just say under the cover of innocence or something like this. So my cover is I'm just a 16-year-old kid. I'm not trying to steal anything. No one's going to shoot me. I'm just a boy. Unfortunately, they did not take my application seriously. And today I'm teaching non-verbally instead of spying in the Middle East.
Respond, go to school.
Yeah, exactly. I'm teaching you guys to spy.
Lucky us.
Yeah, I'm teaching you guys how to spy on the British government by teaching you English. That's what I'm doing instead. Okay, let's look at some vocabulary now that we're going to hear in this documentary that we're going to watch, which I think is very interesting. And let's see if any of us can tell anyone else what they mean. They're all quite difficult words, so I'm just going to allow you, if you know what the meaning is, to try to tell the rest of the class what you think it is. So the first one is a double agent. Does anyone know what a double agent is?
This is simple.
It's simple. Please.
Yes. It's a spy who works for two governments or two states, let's say.
Yes.
Spies, for example, during the war were double agents who worked for USA and for the Russia.
Yes, or for the Russians. But can you be a bit more specific? They're not really, are they?
He's usually undercover. They don't know that he spies the other army or the other part as well.
They don't know that one government does not know that he actually spies for another government. So he pretends, I am an American spy. Actually, I hate America, but this is my secret. I hate America, and I'm helping communists. I'm helping Russia.
Yes.
Information.
You're stuck in.
You're back. I can't hear you.
Or my allegiance and
we cannot hear you.
You have a question?
You're getting stuck, man. We can't hear you. We can't hear
you. Your voice is cutting.
Reason that should have happened. Am I back? I'm back now, yeah?
Yes.
No.
So what was the question? Did someone have a question? Alice?
No.
Oh, okay. No one had a question. All right, let's move on to the next word. Oh.
I'm a secret agent. You just don't know that.
Yeah. That's called a double bluff. A double bluff.
Why double?
Actually, no, it's not a double bluff. It's a bluff. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, double bluff is... I'm not going to try and explain, because when I try and explain that, it gets complicated. Let's just say that's a bluff. Okay, excellent. All right, the next word is a decoy. Does anyone know what a decoy is?
No.
Could you spell it or something? Decoy?
It's on the. We're looking at the vocabulary on the document now.
Yeah, decoy is like. Yes, go ahead.
No.
No, please, ladies first. Come on.
No, I was just going to ask whether it's a noun. It's a noun, isn't it?
Yes, a decoy is a noun.
Mm-hmm. It's like it's something you put on spot, so they go to it, and it's a trap.
It's exactly. It's like a trap. Okay, so the definition I have here is something that's designed to divert the enemy's attention. So if you're flying a plane, for example, a military plane, and someone fires a missile at you, a heat-seeking missile that looks for the heat signature, the heat of your plane, then you can let go of decoys. And if you're flying, then these are special substances or something, I'm not sure what they are, but the plane releases it, and then it will draw the missile away from your plane. Okay? That's like a decoy, because it tricks the missile into thinking that this is the plane, when actually the plane is here. Okay?
It's like
that's just
a fake goal?
Yeah, like a fake goal. A decoy is a fake. It can be a human being as well, can be a decoy. It's something to draw the enemy away from to misdirect, to misguide or misdirect. Yeah. Okay. A covert operation. Does anyone know what that means?
Secret?
Secret.
Yeah. Covert just means, again, we used the word cover before. It's similar. You just add a T. A covert, it means secret. People cannot really see what's happening. It's a covert operation. Intelligence, we're not looking for the most obvious definition here. What does intelligence mean, someone?
Person who is smart.
No.
No, it's the noun here.
The quality of the person. I mean, how he can work with information, which he.
Yes. Okay. So this is it's a good guess, guys. Alice, that's the definition that most people know, right? If someone has a lot of intelligence, we think they are very clever and they can do maths really well. It's a terrible example, but you know, it's a quality of being able to manipulate concepts, if you will. But that's not what we're looking for here.
Secret intelligence, maybe secret intelligence, like
information.
Yes.
Data collecting.
If Ismail has it, it's information. If
Do
you want to
gain, especially in military and secret services.
Yes. So, for example, MI6, like I said before, is the place that I applied to when I was 15 or 16. This is like the CIA, and it's called the Military Intelligence 6. And in fact, the CIA is Central Intelligence Agency. So it's like data or useful information about the enemy. That's what intelligence is. So an intelligence gathering mission is a mission to try and get secret information back from the enemy. Okay. Someone, I think it may be Juan Carlos. I'm not sure, but I can hear my voice.
Yes, I
reverberating. I'm not sure if you could maybe turn the volume down or put the headphones on or something. But right now I can hear an echo whenever I'm talking.
Okay.
Is that okay? It may not be you, Juan Carlos, but I think it is. But try turning the volume down or putting the headphones on. Okay, so the next word now, to keep moving, is espionage. I'm just going to tell you. We know what espionage is. This is the noun. The spy. Yeah.
Regarding to spy.
Yeah. Counterintelligence, counter-espionage. This is... Hold on a second. Can we try and figure out what's... Oh, watch out, Ismail. Can anyone figure out where the echo is coming from? It's gone now. Okay, good. Okay, so counterintelligence means if someone is...
against.
It's your information.
Yeah, well, let me actually read the definition. The activity of preventing the enemy from obtaining secret information. Okay? And counter-espionage is spying that's aimed at an enemy's espionage system. Okay, so if you know that there is an organization that's trying to have intelligence from you, then you engage in activities to stop them from doing this. That's counterintelligence. Counter means the other side, like a counterpart. Okay? I'm still getting the echo, so if everyone can please check their microphone, because it makes it really hard. Juan Carlos, I'm not 100% sure it's you, but for some reason, because of the headphones around your neck, I'm thinking. Okay, that's better now. Thank you. Okay, a conspiracy. Can anyone explain what a conspiracy is?
Yes.
Nicola, give it a go.
No, another person.
Okay. Inga.
No.
Alice.
It's a plan.
Conspiracy.
A plot.
It's a plot.
A plot.
A plot.
Secret plan.
It's an agreement by two or more people to commit a crime, to do something bad. But really, that's a bit of a strict definition. It just means like a plot, to do something that's going to upset someone else. It's a conspiracy. So many conspiracy theories about, for example, the assassination of John F. Kennedy. People think that there was more to it, and then that somebody on the inside hired him to get it. It wasn't just a crazy guy, Lee Harvey Oswald. So that's a conspiracy theory. Classified information. Does anyone know what that means?
Secret information.
Yeah.
Government secret.
Yeah. If something is classified, then that means it's secret. Exactly. A clandestine operation.
Undercover.
Yeah, clandestine
should be undercover.
Yeah, clandestine means secret again. Clandestine, just think of secret. Whenever you see clandestine, you often see this in relation to spying. It's a clandestine.
But the difference between classified information and clandestine information, that classified information is for government.
Operation. Clandestine operation.
You normally use the adjective clandestine when you're talking about activities, right? That you're doing. It's a clandestine activity. I can't explain to you technically why you wouldn't say clandestine information, but that's what it is. I think it always has to relate to an activity.
Okay.
And it wouldn't make sense to say clandestine information. Blown. Obviously, this can mean many things. Actually, let's say cover is blown. Cover is blown, not blown.
He's found out.
Yes. So we spoke about having a cover, right? If I'm James Bond, but I'm pretending to be John Smith. John Smith is my cover. And if someone blows my cover, then you can think of it like wind, like getting rid of the cover, and everyone can see that I am James Bond. Then my cover has been blown. You blow someone's cover. Okay. What's a bug?
Microphone.
Yeah.
Mini microphone usually.
It's a covert or secret listening or recording device. Okay. So you'll place a bug on someone if you want to hear what they are saying, and they do not realize that you are listening. So recently in the news, I'm not sure if any of you have read about this American guy who went to Hong Kong, and he was a whistleblower. This is a great word. Does anyone know what the word whistleblower? Hazel, can you explain that?
Yes, he revealed some secrets from government, because government used to listen and what people were talking, and this person practically unveiled the secret.
Yes. Remember to use the article, so the government. He exposed secrets of the government because the government was listening to what people were saying using bugs, for example.
Yes.
So it's also a verb. You can bug somebody's telephone line, for example, and this just means you placed a bug. And think of it, if you have trouble remembering it, a bug is a very small electronic device, and it's about the size of an insect or a normal bug. Okay, this is probably how the word came to pass, because it's like a very, very small object that does something quite complicated, like a normal bug, like a cockroach or whatever. And you can use the verb to bug. So there's this guy in the news who has now blown the whistle. To be a whistleblower means you expose or you reveal secret activities of a big organization.
Mm-hmm.
So
but whistle is an instrument with you blow in it.
So here's how you remember that. You blow the whistle in, for example, a football match. Right? When something bad has happened, if someone hits at someone else, or they foul, or something goes wrong in the match, then the referee will go and blow his whistle. Okay? And this is like what's happening with the organization. If something bad is happening, then someone will stand up and they will blow the whistle like a referee, and they will say, hey, everyone has to stop. This is taking place. We have to do something about this.
Snowden was his name. I remember now.
Yeah,
Snowden.
Ed Snowden, exactly. Mm-hmm. And now no one knows where he is. He's hiding somewhere. Yeah. And he left his poor girlfriend in Hawaii, which was very sad. They'd been together for 4 years, and he left her without telling her anything. And she's talking about how sad she is on her blog now. Not that I'm reading her blog, but I'm just saying. Okay. Infiltration, or to infiltrate. Do we know what that means?
Maybe it is introduced somewhere.
No.
It's similar.
It means to get into the organization and to pretend that the person is a part of it.
No, you got the first part was correct. The second part was going too far.
In order to get some information from the organization.
To infiltrate, if you think of the word filter, right, because it has that part of the word, filter or filtrate, you have like a barrier, and something will filter through, which means that it finds the holes. If you have like a piece of metal and it has a hole here, and you pour water, then the water will filter through the hole. It will find the hole and come inside. If it's a metal box that has one hole, then the water will filter through the hole. And in the same way, a human being can infiltrate an organization, which just means, usually secretly, often with a cover like James Bond, it means you will secretly gain access to an organization.
Like creep into?
To creep into, yeah. That's to infiltrate is really to creep into somewhere. Okay, so Alice, you were more or less right, and normally, yes, it will be so you can get information and send it back, or maybe assassinate someone or whatever. But it depends. The infiltration part just talks about.
Also, the police practice this.
Infiltrate, yes. Often you will infiltrate a crime ring. A crime ring is like a crime organization, or a drugs ring is a drug organization, by sending an agent to pretend to be a member of this, someone that gained access to it. So that's a very common way to infiltrate, is to lie, to get your secret agent or your spy or your police person to pretend to be someone from that organization, and then they can get the information back. So that's infiltration. Okay. Polygraph. Polygraph. This is not very common.
Isn't a device which you discover if the person is lying or not?
Yeah,
excellent. Very good. A polygraph is a lie detector test, so you can tell if someone's lying. It's like a technical word. Whenever you say, I gave them a polygraph, or they took a polygraph, that's the same as saying, I gave them a lie detector test. Second to last one, a sleeper. Or a sleeper cell. Or how about this? A sleeper agent. A sleeper agent. And you will say sleeper for short.
He's not active? Not active agent?
No, this is you're unlikely to get this. Does anyone want to have another guess, or if I can tell you otherwise?
Maybe someone who is waiting for right moment to do something.
Sometimes some terror organization use some men, and after the crime, they are going to lost a while, and they are using this time for these people.
Yes, I think you're on the right track, Ismail, and actually it's what Inga said as well. It's when you send an agent into what's called deep cover. So we've spoken about cover a few times now, which is like a cover, like a new personality, and yes. Deep cover means there's very little contact because he is in the inner circle, for example. He's really dangerous situation, yeah. So he's in deep cover. This is not actually true. This is the definition I'm reading. This is one sort of definition of a sleeper cell. But it's more actually, they're on deep cover, but they're on a long-term assignment. Okay, so maybe for example, someone from Al Qaeda could send someone to America to live a normal life for maybe 5 or 10 years, and then in 10 years they will activate the sleeper cell. They will then get a phone call and say, okay, now you have to assassinate someone or do whatever, you know? So it's like, if you think about sleeping, it's like they're sleeping, and then at one point someone wakes them up and says, okay, now you have to do something.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And is he paid for those 10 years just living there?
Of course.
I don't currently employ any sleeper cells at the moment, Alice, but if I ever get into that job or that career, then I can let you know how much they pay.
Okay.
But these are very interesting sleeper cells, that someone would dedicate, that someone is so impassioned or passionate about a cause that they would live a lie for many, many, many years until, and maybe also they maybe never get activated, maybe nothing happens.
Happy.
You know,
lucky.
Yeah, unfortunate. And then they had to live a lie, and they never even got to take their revenge or do anything. So that would be unfortunate. Okay,
so now it's like a long-term goal spy.
Yeah, a long-term goal spy. That's the ungrammatical but true way of saying it. Or a spy with a long-term goal, we can say. Perfect. Okay. All right. So now we're going to look at the documentary, and then afterwards we're gonna do some listening. Look at the questions now on the. Look at these 6 questions. Okay. Everyone have a quick look. In fact, everyone play this documentary before you look at the question. The problem is that there is an advert. You have to watch a commercial for like 1 minute before the documentary will start. But everyone click on this link and begin watching. And obviously you should all have headphones on, so we're not disturbing anyone else. When I don't begin yet, but begin when I say begin. Okay, so everyone has this link open now?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So unfortunately, there's going to be a waste of 1 minute at least, I think. But when I say go, we all press play. And when you are watching this advertisement, then start looking at these questions. And if you have a pen and paper, bring them out. And you're going to be watching this for detail and for comprehension to try and answer these questions. And then we'll talk about what we looked at afterwards. So this will take us to 12 o'clock, and then we'll talk for 5 or 10 minutes afterwards, and obviously answer the questions most importantly. Okay, but it's a really interesting piece, and it's not too long. So, and it's got most of the words that we just learned. So hopefully now we'll have a better understanding. Okay, if we could all begin on 3, 2, 1, go.
We went out and asked people a simple question. How old is the oldest person you've known?
Many things she learned is that Crumpton has a unique perspective on the war in Afghanistan because it was Hank who was in charge of the covert U.S. response to 9/11. The story will continue in a moment.
We went out and asked people a simple question. How old is the oldest person you've known? We gave people a sticker and shovels.
Okay, now there's this 1 minute advertisement. I'm very sorry. So take a look at these questions, everyone. I'll be back in 1 minute, but then it'll start. Okay, I'll see you in a second.
What do you make of where Afghanistan is right now?
It reminds me of a Greek tragedy. Got so many mistakes, many of them inadvertent, like the burning of the Quran on the U.S. side. And you've got a feckless, corrupt government on the Afghan side. I'm really more pessimistic now than I've been in a long time.
Hank Crumpton, now 55, spent 24 years in the murky world.
That's good.
I'm done. Okay.
We're almost finished. Okay, is everyone finished?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you enjoy that?
Yes.
Did you find it easy to understand or quite difficult?
50-50. Yeah.
50-50. Some of it was easy, some of it was difficult.
Yes.
Were there any particular words that you found difficult? That you remember, that you didn't understand what they meant?
No.
Does everyone know what eavesdrop means, to
Yes.
eavesdrop?
To listen.
To listen to something that you shouldn't really be listening to.
Yes.
Right? Like to bug.
I don't understand even the question. Why was the Predator drone armed? I don't understand the meaning of the whole sentence.
Okay, so a drone.
Mm-hmm.
A drone is the same as an UAV. This is a piece of military equipment. It's called an unarmed aerial vehicle. I think. So it's something an unmanned. Sorry. Thank you, Ismail. An unmanned, not an unarmed. Armed it, right?
Yes.
So not unarmed. An unmanned aerial vehicle, which is like a plane but without a pilot. So they can control it with a remote control, right? This is what a drone is. And so you saw a picture of it flying. Remember?
It's
they showed
small
you.
plane.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a small plane but with no pilot.
And there is a FLIR camera on it.
Yes, to take pictures, or he used military jargon or military words. So he said optics.
Yeah.
Optics, if you think of like an optician, they look at your eyes, or an optometrist in America. Optical means to do with vision or your eyes. So he said we need to get optics, which just means pictures of the enemy. And we considered balloons, but then they would get blown into China. And we considered long-range optics, like maybe big telescopes. We know what telescopes are, something like that. But none of these things worked. And then they decided to use the UAVs, the drones. Okay, and we're going to. One of the questions is to do with that too. Do we all know what an insurgent is? Insurgent.
It's a military title.
Well, no, it's not a military title. It means someone who has risen up against their own government, usually, right? So in this case, the Taliban against the Afghanistan government. They were insurgents. So they were the bad guys as far as the Americans were concerned. And an insurgency is like a rebellion, almost. Okay, an insurgency. Okay, so let's ask the questions then. Let's get into them. What was the mission of the CIA in Afghanistan, and how did they go about doing it? That's probably the toughest question, but Hazel has the answer, so I want to hear it.
Destroy Al-Qaeda. For the beginning, they said that their mission was to find Al-Qaeda and kill them.
And can someone else tell me how they went about it? How they did this?
You just told that.
No, that was one way. But before the drones, what were they doing?
Okay.
They had a way to overthrow. This was about Bin Laden, the drones in particular. But what about the Taliban? What were they doing with the Taliban?
They used some secret agent and special force behind the enemy lines.
Very good.
They dropped point operation to the Taliban insurgents.
Yes, they made alliances with some of the tribal leaders.
Yes.
Right? And not the Taliban directly necessarily, but people who were the tribes that knew or had information about the movements of the Taliban. Okay? So they dropped special forces, like Ismail said, and commandos behind enemy lines in Afghanistan to do an operation where they were making alliances with the tribal leaders. And they would try and get information from them about the Taliban and also about Al-Qaeda. Okay, great. Next question. Why was the Predator drone armed? Nicola, do you have an answer?
No. I'm so sorry, man.
That's okay. No worries. Sergey, do you have an answer?
I think to watch for the convoy and the settlers. Settler.
Sorry?
I think they armored the drone to watch for the convoy.
But if you arm something, you put weapons on it. Sorry, I should have made that clear. So arms, we all know these are arms, but another meaning of arms are weapons. So you can say a call to arms means that something that will inspire you to fight for something. That's a call to arms. And the verb to arm something means to add weapons to it. Okay, so you put guns, you're putting missiles or guns. You know, missiles are like psh.
Yes, I understand.
So why did they put missiles on the drone?
To kill Talibans, maybe.
To destroy Bin Laden?
To destroy, yeah, but why was it not armed and then they armed it?
The special agent Hanks find Bin Laden, but there was UAV unarmed in that time, and they should give permission from the United States President, and the missile from the
drone? Ismail, you're absolutely right. That's good enough. We can stop there if you want. You're absolutely right. They had a missed opportunity. So there was one time where you saw the camera footage, they could see Bin Laden, but they could not do anything about it because the drone had not been armed. And it was very frustrating. So they asked permission, and then eventually they had permission to put weapons onto the drone. But then they couldn't find Bin Laden again. So it was unfortunate. But initially they were just looking for optics, and then they saw Bin Laden, and then they needed to put weapons on it so they could kill Bin Laden in his compound. But it never actually happened until a year ago or 2 years ago. Okay.
But sorry, as I understood, that time was the President Clinton, and he said that, tell me where will be Bin Laden after 5 hours, something like that, and they was, or
yeah. Well, so to be honest, it wasn't entirely clear, but he said yes, we need to know 5 hours ahead of time, and then we can kill him. But at the same time, they said we will let you put weapons on the drone, but you need to know ahead of.
No, I thought that there are weapons, but just they haven't.
They weren't allowed.
Yeah.
I think they didn't have weapons the first time. I think they didn't have weapons. We could go back and look at it again, but the idea is the same, that the president didn't give them permission either to shoot or to put weapons on them. So they missed the opportunity, and then they decided that they need to actually put weapons on this thing. Okay. Next question. What are the current concerns of the CIA? Does anyone know?
That Al Qaeda remains a potent danger. Even Osama bin Laden was killed.
Yeah, but there was a specific phrase. Now that he's been, it was something to do with the location of Al Qaeda. It was a very quick.
In Yemen.
Yeah.
Somalia.
Very good. And in the Arabian Peninsula.
Yes.
The Arabian Peninsula is like I don't know how to describe it. It's a piece of land that comes out into the sea or into the ocean, like a peninsula. So all the countries on this peninsula. But Yemen and Somalia in particular, these are the current concerns. Very good. What are the difficulties of being a spy? Did anyone get that? She said to him, what was the hardest part, the most challenging part about being a spy? It was a very particular sentence that he said? No? Okay, I'll tell you. It was you have to make operational and moral judgments every day.
Ah, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then, for example, can anyone remember the example that he used?
Yes, yes. He said that leaders from North Korea like porn, and he maybe would give them if he had to.
Yes. And he had no problem with doing
moral
this.
judgment. This is
Yes.
one of moral judgment.
Yeah. So it's like, torture. For example, the film recently, Zero Dark 30, which was the film that was made about the assassination on bin Laden. The film portrayed that the CIA used torture on certain suspected terrorists or people who knew bin Laden to extract information. And this was, and the American government denied this vigorously, and they said, no, we did not. This film is inaccurate. We never told them this. Who knows what the truth is? Many people think that the American government's telling the truth. Others do not. But this was a moral judgment that the CIA or the president had to make. Either we will use torture or we will not use torture. A lighter version of this, or a lesser version of this, was whether Hank wanted to give pornography to people to get information or to get them to help the American government. Because in North Korea, the internet is banned.
Yes.
There is no internet. So these politicians, they like pornography, apparently. So do Al-Qaeda. It was a very weird thing that they have all in common. And so they would use this as a bribe. We all understand bribe, to bribe someone.
Yes.
Yeah. And he said he had no problem doing that, which I think is the right way to look at things. Okay, what are the characteristics of a good spy?
He said he has
intellectual curiosity.
Curiosity. Nicola,
Yeah.
do you had another one?
curiosity, exactly. It was curiosity and, well, to be fit.
Yeah,
Maybe.
creativity, physical
courage.
abilities.
Physical courage, willingness to do ambivalent situation.
Yeah, to do with what, Hazel?
Ambivalent situation.
Can you explain?
Like the case with porn, if you give or not give moral situation.
Ambivalent, ambi, if you have the prefix ambi, that usually means something with...
Both way.
Two possibilities. So ambiguous means it could mean one thing or it could mean something else, if a statement is ambiguous. Ambivalent means if you act in one way, it will have one value. Valent is like value. Or if you act in another way, it will have another value. Or if you say, I am ambivalent about something, this means like you could say, I am in two minds about something. An expression, hold on. You can be in two minds about something means you're conflicted. It's an ambivalent situation, or you are ambivalent. Okay, very good. So then you're in two minds. And do you think that what Hank Crumpton says is true? This is no right or wrong answer. Juan Carlos, what do you think about that? Do you think he's telling the truth?
I think that he say the truth, but not full the truth.
Not the entire truth.
The entire truth.
Okay. Because one thing that interested me when he was speaking was when they were talking about the domestic. Everyone understands the difference between international and domestic. International means or foreign with other countries, or foreign or domestic as well. Foreign means with other countries. Domestic means in your own country. Of course, it also means in your own house, right? Domestic chores or things like this mean to do with your house. But when you're talking about the government and things like this, it means your country, not your house. So when they were talking about domestic activities, they said that they do bugging. We discussed bugging and eavesdropping, but only on foreign suspected terrorists and things like this, not on American citizens.
And this is a big lie.
Now we think this is a big lie.
Big lie.
According to Ed Snowden, who me and Hazel were talking about, he says that's complete BS. BS, does everyone know what BS means?
Yes, bullshit.
Yeah, okay. I wanted someone else. You can say it. You're not the teacher, Nicholas.
Bullshit. That's bullshit.
Okay, all right. I think 3 times is enough. But he thinks that it was complete BS, and now I think that's probably true as well. So he had limits of how much truth he was willing to say. Because I think someone like Hank Crumpton probably knew what really happens behind the scenes, but there are certain things he didn't want to admit because he wanted to keep living in America. So I think we can trust a lot of what he says, but not everything. And who are we to know? So okay, cool. So hopefully now you can all be spies. Or talk about.
Are you the people who believe America or who don't believe America?
Are you asking me that, Nicola?
Yes.
What do you mean believe America? Do I
Yes,
believe
because for instance, in the video, you told me about a film about the Bin Laden's death, and then well, you said that
so do I believe the government? Yeah, when they didn't use torture. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was talking to a friend about this yesterday. I think they probably did, but I think it was very bad anyway of her her name is Catherine Bigelow, to make this film, you know, in an American way or whatever, because it's not good for the American image that people have, and I think, I don't know, I have a very weird opinion, but I think some things like this, it depends on the evidence. If the evidence is high and you have a suspect, everyone knows a suspect is someone that you suspect has committed a crime, or you suspect is a terrorist, you think maybe they are this thing. If you have a suspect and you have a very good evidence or reasons to believe that they know or they have the information you are looking for, and also that this information is very important information that will help you to find Bin Laden, for example, then I think, personally, I think that should be allowed, actually. The kind of torture they did, not any kind of torture, because some are just medieval. Do we all understand medieval?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's from, like, you know, back in 1400s or the 13th century, before they used like terrible torture methods that ended in death almost. But I think torture methods that, like waterboarding, we know waterboarding, when they put the mask on you and make it feel like you're drowning.
Oh my God, you're scaring me.
Yeah. No. Everyone knows what waterboarding is. I'm not.
Bye.
From movies. From movies.
This is a big deal. From movies, they do this in the movie. They do this in Zero Dark Thirty.
I know.
And they recover, the suspect recovers, and I think as long as the person makes a full recovery and you don't really, you know, do serious, like, permanent injury to someone, then I think when the stakes are so high, do we understand that means? When the stakes are high?
Expectations.
Well, yeah, exactly. Expectations is another word for stakes, really. Then I think that is permissible. Permissible means allowed, I think. But that's my personal opinion. I know many people will hate me for that or think that that's wrong, but that's how I feel. So, but on the other hand, my point was, it's permissible, but I think it's very bad if this becomes, like, publicly known. I think there are certain things we need to trust our government with. And I don't inherently or normally trust governments, because I think they've done very bad things as well. But I think in theoretically, in a perfect world, we should be able to trust our government with certain things and not have the public know about it, right? Because it causes too many problems, like with international relations. And
to get it off the record,
Yeah, to keep it off the record, exactly. Oh, Hank used an expression also, to set the record straight. Does everyone know what that means? To set the record straight. So the record,
frank?
Yeah, well, no, to correct something. So if the record is think about it, recording, it's what people think about something. If someone has a good track record, you say track record. If someone has a good record, that means they have a good history of whatever. And if you set the record straight, it means that currently there is a misperception. Currently, people are looking at something in the wrong and thinking the wrong thing. So if you set the record straight, you make it clear what the truth is. You bring the truth to light. So Hank wanted to set the record straight. I can't remember what it was about, but a few things. That's why he wrote this book, because he thinks people have the wrong impression of intelligences and things like this. Maybe they think they're all like James Bond, and he wanted to say, no, it's not actually like this, and something like that. So, Anyway. All right, guys, cool. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that and learned some new vocabulary. It's great to see all of you, and thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
And I'll see you all hopefully next week. If any of you have any questions, please feel free to send me a message on Facebook of topics you want to cover, or grammar topics and things like this. And I'll be happy to do that. Okay.
Thank you, teacher. Thank you.
All right, guys.
See you.
Enjoy the day. Bye, Hazel. Bye, Ismail.
Bye.
Bye, Juan Carlos, and bye, Sergey. Have a nice week.